Uh, Good day, everyone. Um, my topic is about planning your research project or the methodology. So let us first discuss, the research design. So research design, when we talk about research design, we are referring to a general strategy for addressing the research problem or questions. And this includes the procedure the researcher follows, the data the researchers collect, and the data analysis the researchers conducts. Simply put, the research design is planning. So in the planning in a general approach, think broadly about the problem as arising out of a particular area. Or in our subject, we have the research as of the general objectives and the specific objectives. And are you studying people, no? uh, things? Definitely, our uh, research, or our thesis is about studying about the things, no? Or is it the records? Is it the thoughts and ideas? Is dynamic and energy? Or each of these is a potential unit of analysis. Um, think about the kinds of data you need to address your problem. Do you need, or you find participants? Uh, do you need participants in your thesis or research? Do you have the right equipment and skills? Do you know how to interpret the data and draw the conclusion from them? So these are things, no, that you should consider or think, when you do these planning or what we call the methodology. Okay, so research planning is selecting a particular research methodology. No, but they are different. No? Planning determines the general approach to study may be similar across discipline. It means engineering, business, health and sciences, arts. Okay, so those are the disciplines that we are talking about. And methodology is the techniques one uses to collect and analyze data. May be specific to a particular academic discipline like engineering. No? So anyway, later on you will see the different kind of methodology that you may use, in your thesis. So let us first discuss the nature and role of data in research. No? So data are pieces of information that helps from a bigger picture. No? So data are raw. No? Data are the factual things, that gathered, during data gathering. However, data are transient. No? So what is true, no, at any point in time may be not true at another point in time. So like your proposals, your research proposal. So sometimes that is needed, in that is needed today, but maybe not needed in the near future. Yes, no. What That is a problem today, but maybe that is not a problem in the near future. Okay. So data, uh, on the other hand, may be a primary or a secondary. So primary data are the closest to the truth, no? Or the source. Secondary data are derived from the primary data, distorted by the interpretation and communications. Okay. So methodology class is just how one is how to gather those data, no? That you needed, no, in order for you to draw findings or outcomes, no, of your research class. Okay, so during the writing your methodology, no, let us consider planning for data collections, no. Okay, so first, what data are needed, no, for your research? Where are the data located? No, so you have to answer these. Ano? How will the data be obtained? No? What limits will be placed on the nature of acceptable data? No, especially if your research, no, is about like uh, in terms of reliability, no, of that particular project, no. Uh, you have to determine, uh, the nature of acceptable data and how will the data be interpreted, no. And there are so many things, to consider how to interpret the data, no. And uh, today, no, with the advent of the industrial revolution, or diba? There's so many ways, to collect data, to interpret the data, or to use the data in research. Okay. So in your project or in your research project, linking of data and methodology are important. So let us first discuss, no, these what we call quantitative methods. Uh, in doing research methodology, so you have to determine, no, if your research is quantitative, qualitative, or mixed method. No? So in engineering, mostly the methods is qualitative, no, but sometimes the mixed method is needed, I learn, a lot of researchers, no, in the business field, no, and mostly those are quantitative methods, no. But in engineering, mostly are mixed methods. They are doing quantitative and qualitative, in their particular research or project. So what is quantitative methods? Quantitative methods involve collecting numerical data. Kasi you are counting, no? Kaya that's why it's quantity, no? It is discrete, no? Um, no other explanation, of that because that is numbers, no? Numbers. The output is numbers, no? Everything is measured, in quantitative methods. And when we speak of qualitative methods, it involves collecting of textual or image-based data. Normally, it is described. No, you are descriptive. methods, and qualitative needs some more things to consider, no? Okay, so but that, like what I said, no, in engineering mostly, they both use the quantitative and qualitative methods in uh, in doing their research. No? Okay, so to determine the approach, whether it is a qualitative or a quantitative or mix, no. So let us first determine what is the purpose of your project, no. Uh, and then that is for what, no? For the benefit, who will benefit, no? Who are the target audience, who are the target beneficiaries, or the target users, okay? And then what is the nature of the process? Oh, is it descriptive? Is it experimental? No? Is it that there are some nature that sometimes you need to test, no? Your outcomes, no? And then what are the data, no, like, or how are they collected, no? How are they collected, no? Um, and then how are data analyzed, no? And how the findings communicated, no? So these are the things that you need to answer, before you determine whether your project is qualitative, quantitative, or the mix of methods. And also consider these issues. One, your comfort with the assumption of the qualitative tradition. No? If you are uh, kumbaga, if you are uh, very comfort, to do a qualitative methods, the audience for your study, no, like what I said a while ago, who are the target users, who are the beneficiaries, and the nature of the research questions, diba? How your research questions, derive from a specific problem and its settings, no, the extensive of the related literature, no. Sometimes kasi if your research method is qualitative, it needs a lot more literature review or related literature, so that so that it can be supported, with analogous studies. Then the depth of what you want to discover, no. We say research, our thesis is about discovery of a new knowledge. That's why I always ask you, to is there a new knowledge in your research, no? And that is required, in our subjects. And the amount of time you have available for conducting the study, no? So as of the moment, you are required to uh, you are required to propose, topics, di ba? This term, but next term, you really need to do it, no, for your next subject, Then the extent to which you are willing to interact with the people in your study, no? Baka nga kayo-kayong grupo magka-problema pa, no, while doing this particular project, research project. So the extent to which you feel comfortable working without much structure and your ability to organize and draw inferences on a large body of information. And lastly, your writing skills is important. So deciding whether between the quantity or the equality or the combination or the mixed method, no, consider your own comfort level of assumptions. Ito na pala yun, sorry. Uh, Parang na doble lang pala, sorry. Okay, so this is the research methodology that you can use, ano, or can be selected. Oh. So is it an action research? Uh, is it a case study? Is it a content analysis? Is it a correlation research? Actually, normally in engineering, this is design-based, developmental research, no, experimental research, no, and sometimes we use a survey and observation. So you can just study all of these, and look for examples, of each of the following research methodology. And but here are you can select uh, uh, this methodology. You can select three or more, diba? Or or uh, or actually you can select let's say one or two research methodology, but sometimes when you do a certain methodology, you need another methods to to do that particular methodology. Okay. So I advise you not to study design-based, developmental, experimental, survey, observation. Parang wala naman tayong historical or the grounded theory. Yan, doon sa research ko class sa pagpunta sa in mountains, ng mga indigenous people. Normally, ang methodology namin is ethnography tsaka grounded theory, no? So, and phenomenological. No? So, these are for the extent of my researches, and now my dissertation. But for our discipline, in what we are doing now, so ito yun, design, developmental, experimental, no? Yan. I cannot explain it one by one, So medyo malalim, no? Mahaba. So kindly look, for a certain methodology and study it, no? If that is applicable, to your research project. And so let us know, how to enhance the credibility of your findings. No, kasi 'di ba you define the methods and then after that, syempre when you do that, you will have a findings, So what are things, to do, no, to enhance the credibility of your findings? So a research study has a credibility to the extent that the people, one, agree that its design and methods are being appropriate for the research problem or the questions, di ba? Sa objective natin. Judge its result as being reasonably accurate and trustworthy. Find the researcher interpretation of the data to be plausible. No? Ang Baka mali. Then, quantitative researchers often use the term internal validity when evaluating the credibility. Then qualitative researcher use the variety of terms such as the trustworthiness, no, of a literature, of the related literature or analogous study, the confirmability, no. So mamaya I can discuss ano how to confirm, 'di ba? And then interpretative rigor, no. This is for the qualitative researchers, no. And the words confirmability, no, that I mentioned a while ago, these are the things that to consider. Triangulation, no, triangulation means multiple resources of data are collected with hope that will all converge to support a particular assertion or the hypothesis, theory, or the conclusion. So in other words, no, there are multiple sources, and some of the things that the resources is saying, no, there is a what we call a converge, kumbaga parehas sila ng sinasabi. But when we speak of triangulation, so kailangan at least three sources that saying that that is the what that finding is told, no, by those at least three resources. So kung apat, so much better. Kung lima, much better. No? And then another thing to enhance the confirmability is the controlled laboratory study. No? Siguro if you are engineering, you know what laboratory study means, ano. And then extensive time in the field. So paniniwalaan ka, no, the people uh, believe na, no, what you are saying, because you are very much, no, uh, uh, gave your time in the field, you know. You gave your time in the field. So let's say ako, ilang years na ako namumundok, ano. So if I told you that this is what happened in the mountains, especially indigenous people. So since the time I'm years na akong nagpupunta doon, so mas maniniwala kayo sa akin kaysa doon sa iba na hindi pa nakakapunta ng bundok o hindi pa nakakapamuhay in the mountain or live in the mountains, di ba? But that is just an example. Ano? Okay. So unobtrusive measures, gathering data about people, behavior, when those people don't know their action are being recorded. Diba? That is unobtrusive measures. And most especially, no, in confirmability, you have a very thick description. Hindi yung parang three paragraph, three sentences, ano. So there should have a thick descriptions, ano, in order to enhance your confirmability. Another thing to confirm the confirmability is the respondent validation. Confirming conclusion with participants. No, validation is one steps. Verification and validation. No? In software engineering, you see that, you know, in one steps, no. And then analysis of contradictory data, such as discrepant perspective or quantitative outliers. Then follow-up studies is specifically designed to eliminate alternative explanation for findings. Okay. So next, choosing the appropriate assessment strategy. Many methodologies requires one or more assessment strategies. So researcher must in a way capture and evaluate the nature of important characteristic, behavior, and other variables under investigation. And then assessment often involves measurement. In other words, it imposes a range of numbers, of an entity being addressed. Okay. Then last, what are the ethical issues that uh, you need to know? No? Participant must be protected from harm, meaning participant that di ba, you gather data and you have some participation of other of the one that you ask, di ba? So the participant must be protected from harm. Benefit to participant must outweigh risk. And then the participant before you interview it, it must be debrief, no? So participation must be voluntary and informed. Individual know what they are being asked to do. Individual should can decline without penalty. Individuals know they can withdraw at any time without penalty. No. And another thing, participants have the right to privacy. No? Data information about participants are confidential. So identifiable data should not be shared, even in class, no, without written consent. That's why if you are gathering data, make sure that you have a consent, to share it in the class. Name should be coded to ensure anonymity. So researcher must be honest. Data should be trustworthy. Report should be complete and accurate. Contributor should be credited. Oh. So, sabi niya, wag daw arian class, if that quotation statement is not yours. And researcher must be reviewed before data collection begins. No? So the institution maintain an IRB or review board and sometimes IACUC. Scholars and researchers across discipline review proposal to assess risk and ensure that participants' rights are honored. And researcher, the researcher, last slide for the ethical issues. Researchers are expected to adhere to professional code of conduct within their field. No? Okay, so yeah. And that's it. Uh, Next will be how to write a proposal.